This is the Stoic approach to success. Do not hold on to it. Do not let yourself be consumed by flattery. Do not allow it to define who you are, because success, like everything in life, is ephemeral, and if you do not handle it well, it can become in the worst of chains. That's why in this video we are going to talk about 13 ways in which you should handle success according to Stoicism. It is not about rejecting it or being afraid of it, but about learning to sustain it without making us lose our balance before starting. I want you to do something. Leave in the comments a short phrase that inspires you about success or Stoicism. It can be something like "Success without discipline is a trap," or "True success is maintaining humility." By sharing your phrase, you will be helping others to remember a key lesson from this video and to reinforce it learned. If you like this content and want more videos like this one, subscribe and activate the little bell to not miss any. Now, yes. Let's start. 1. Don't let success go to your head. Pride us. It makes us want to be admired by others, while wisdom makes us indifferent to its approval. Seneca. Look, here it is. The trap of success arrives suddenly, and without you realizing it, you begin to believe yourself superior to others. It is a slow, subtle poison. You do not realize it, but little by little you get used to the praise, the applause, that people admire you, and without realizing it, one day you wake up and you realize that success is no longer just something you have, but something you are. And what happens when your identity is based on success? That if one day it disappears, and believe me, it can disappear, you are left empty without knowing who you are, because you built yourself on the opinion of others, on numbers, on fame, on recognition, and all that is fragile. All that is where Stoicism makes us give a golden lesson. Don't let success go to your head. Don't think you're invincible just because things are going well. Don't be fooled by the praise of Seneca, who was an advisor to Emperor Nero. Saw it first. And one day people praise you, the next they want to destroy you. You can't depend on it. He said that one must train oneself to stand firm in the face of praise of the same way you would in the face of criticism, because both things are equally dangerous if you take them too seriously. So how do we apply this in real life? Remember that success does not make you a better person, no matter how many followers you have, how much money you earn, how many awards you receive. You are the same human being you were before getting it. Do not believe that you are now worth more just because others tell you. Do not seek validation. External praise is nice, yes, but you don't need it. If you get used to depending on the approval of others, you will live trapped in a golden cage. You will only be happy when others applaud you, and what happens when they stop doing it? Train humility, and watch out, humility is not thinking that you are less than others, but understanding that you are not more. You don't need to show anyone how successful you are. Who are really worth in your life will value you for who you are, not for what you have. Surround yourself with people who tell you the truth, not flattering friends who keep you grounded, who are not afraid to tell you when you are wrong, who remind you of who you were before success. Do things that remind you that you are human. Wash your dishes, exercise, learn something new. Go out with people who don't have an idea of who you are. Stay connected to reality, because the day you start to feel like you're superior to others, that's the day success starts to destroy you. And remember this, success doesn't change people, it just reveals who they really are. So make sure that when success reveals to you what it shows you, it's to someone you're proud of. 2. Don't hold on to the success is fleeting. Don't hold on to what you have today, because tomorrow may not. Be live lightly, like who knows that everything is borrowed. Epictetus. Here another great trap of success comes. When it arrives, it makes you believe that it will be eternal. You feel that you will always be at the top, that you will always receive recognition, that you will always have the same level of success that you have now. But the reality is different. Success is as volatile as the wind. Looks at it in history. How many great names were acclaimed in their time, and today we barely remember them? How many artists, businessmen, writers, and leaders were the greatest at the time, and then they were forgotten? Because success is like that. It arrives, it elevates you, it excites you, and when you least expect it, it can disappear. And this is where the Stoic mentality comes in. Epictetus said that we must live knowing that everything is borrowed, nor that neither fame nor recognition nor wealth really belong to us. Everything you have today can be taken away from you tomorrow, not because of that you must live in fear, but with awareness. So how we apply this in our life? 1. Learns to let go of success before it lets go of you. If your whole sense of value depends on success, the day it disappears you will feel that you are nothing. But if from now you understand that success is just an external circumstance, never cling to it. If it comes, you enjoy it. If it goes, you move forward too. Don't make success your identity. You are much more than your achievements. You are your character, your ethics, your discipline, your essence. If success disappears, but you are still the same person with principles and values, then you still have the most important third life. As if tomorrow everything could change. No, let success make you lose perspective. Don't take anything for granted. Appreciate what you have, but don't take it for granted. Life changes in an instant, and if you get used to the comfort of success, the blow of reality will be stronger when the wind changes. Fourth, be prepared for any scenario. The Stoic is not someone who fears change, but someone who waits calmly for it when the things are going well instead of resting on their laurels. Stays ready for when hard times come, because success is not the final goal, but just one more stage of the way. In short, enjoy success without getting attached to it. When you have it, be grateful for it. If one day it goes away, say goodbye. Man proves himself, prosperity only puts him to sleep. Seneca. Here is a brutal irony. Success can weaken you more failure, and I'm going to explain it to you. When you're fighting for something, when you haven't reached the top yet, you're hungry, you have discipline, you have focus. Every day is a challenge. Every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen yourself. But when you finally achieve success, something dangerous can happen. You relax, you settle, you stop demanding yourself. It's like a warrior who trains all his life for battle, and when he wins it, he leaves his sword aside. He gets fat. He loses his agility and forgets what got him there. And then, when a new challenge comes, he's no longer ready to face it. Seneca explained it perfectly. Adversity is what makes us stronger, while comfort makes us weak. If you let success make you complacent, you're digging your own grave. How, therefore, can we prevent this? 1. You never stop training your mind. You never cease, no matter how high you go. Keep learning, keep challenging, keep facing situations that take you out of your comfort zone. If you stop demanding yourself because you've already achieved it, the only thing you'll be doing is preparing to fall. 2nd, surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just admirers. The worst mistake of someone successful is to surround yourself only with people who applaud you. You need people who challenge you, who make you grow. A true friend. It's not the one who tells you what you want to hear, but the one who tells you what you need. Listen. 3rd, keep hungry for growth. Success is not the final destination, but just a point on the road. If you stop there, you stagnate. Life continues, circumstances change, opportunities evolve. The secret is not to settle, to keep developing no matter what you've already achieved. 4th, don't become dependent on comfort. If success makes you soft, you lost. Comfort is tempting, but growth happens in discomfort. The Stoics practiced discomfort intentionally. They slept on the floor, fasted, they were cold. Why? To remember that they could live without luxuries, to train their resilience, to make sure that success and comfort did not make them weak. Success can be your ally or your worst enemy. If you drive well, it drives you. If you handle it badly, it destroys you. Don't allow it to turn you into a weaker version of yourself. 4th, don't look for validation in success. One wise man is one who doesn't depend on the approval of others to find peace within himself. Epictetus. Here comes another serious problem of success. When you start using it as a yardstick to measure your personal worth, why do you think there are so many people that, despite having everything that others want, money, fame, recognition, feels empty? Because they confused success with the personal validation, and it is easy to fall into that trap. At first, you just seek to improve, achieve your goals, show that you can. But when success comes, something changes. You begin to depend on the opinion of others. Suddenly you no longer do things because you like them or because they make sense to you, but because you want to maintain the image of a successful person, and that is when you get lost. Epictetus was very clear: if you base your self-esteem in what others think of you, you will never really be free mind, because when success becomes the way you validate your personal value, you are trapped in an invisible cage. So how to avoid this? First, remember that your value does not depend on what you achieve. If tomorrow you lose everything, you are still the same person. Your essence, your character, your integrity, they do not change by success or failure. No, you are more valuable because you are successful, nor less valuable if you lose it 2 days. Do not obsess over the opinion of others. If success makes you dependent on the approval of others, then you will never feel truly fulfilled. There will be days when people praise you and make you feel at the top, and others when they criticize you without mercy. If your happiness depends on that, you will be a slave to external validation. Third is what you love, not what impresses others. You are chasing success because you really love what you do or because you want others to admire you. Ask yourself honestly, because if you are only looking for recognition, it will never be enough. You will always want more. You will always feel that it is not enough. Fourth, learn to enjoy the process, not just the result. If you only live to achieve external goals, more money, more fame, more recognition, you will always be in an endless race. The secret is to enjoy the journey and loving what you do beyond the result. Success should not be an emotional crutch. If one day you have it, enjoy it, but without allowing it to define your value. And if one day it disappears, that it does not take with it your inner peace. 5. Do not forget who you were before success. The glory of great men must always be measured by the means by which they have acquired it. Epictetus. Here comes one of the most dangerous traps of success. It makes you forget where you came from when you hadn't achieved anything yet. You were clear about who you were. You had values, principles, humility. But when success comes, if you're not careful, it can make you forget all that. You would still be you. If the answer is no, then success has already altered you more than you could ever imagine. The aim is for you to be the same person under all conditions, basically. Third, surround yourself solely with people who make you happy. If you just pay attention to those who tell you how wonderful you are, you can easily start believing too much. Though you may not, keep those who tell you the truth nearby. Always what you want to hear. True friends are the ones who remind you who you are, not the ones who only feed your ego. Fourth, help to those who are in the place where you were. If you ever had difficulties, remember what you felt at that moment. Now that you have achieved something, use your position to help others who are where you were. Don't stray from reality. Don't forget about the who are still on the path you have already traveled. Success can be a grandmaster or a cruel destroyer. If you forget who you were before you reach it, you lose yourself. But if you manage to keep your feet on the ground, no matter how high you go, then you will have overcome one of life's hardest trials. 6. Don't let success make you complacent. It's hard to handle abundance without becoming indulgent. Seneca. Here is another silent danger of success. Can make you lazy. Before you succeed, you worked hard. You got up early. You put all your energy into improving every day. But when success comes, the temptation to let your guard down appears. You relax, you get used to privileges. You think, I've already done it, I don't need to try so hard, and that's the first step towards decay. Look at the story. How many empires fell? No by war, but by complacency. Rome did not fall in a single day. It weakened from within, because its people became comfortable, soft, confident that its glory would never end. And the same goes for successful people who believe that their success is eternal. The Stoics teach us that growth should never stop. No matter how many times you have won, you should always keep acting as if you were just starting out. May success make you complacent. First, keep acting as if you haven't arrived yet. No matter how many achievements you've achieved, keep maintaining the discipline you had when you started. Develop the mindset of a beginner. There's always something more to learn. There's always a way to improve. 2. Don't rest on the laurels. Seneca warned that abundance it's dangerous because it makes us indulgent. Don't get used to success to the point of believing that you can relax and stop doing what got you there. Success is not a destination, is a responsibility. Third party. Set new challenges constantly. If you stop challenging yourself, you stagnate. Do not allow your greatest motivation to be only to maintain what you have, but to continue to grow, to continue developing. Success is not an end goal, it is just a point on the path. Fourth, practice the discomfort of intentionally. The Stoics, they practiced poverty from time to time, slept on the floor, fasted, wore simple clothes, because they wanted to. Remember that they could live without luxuries and remain strong. Don't let success make you dependent on comfort. Keep resilience trained. Success can be the end of many, if it makes them weak, but if you handle it wisely, it can be only that of an even greater life. 7. Don't let success take you away from reality. The man who lives in luxury and flattery disconnects from real life and loses perspective of what really matters. Marcus Aurelius. Here comes one of the most insidious traps of success. It disconnects you from the real world. Think about this before Achieving success, you lived like anyone else, you walked the streets without anyone noticing, you went to the supermarket, you waited for your turn in line, you faced the same problems as everyone else. But when success arrives, something changes. They start to treat you differently. You don't stand in line anymore because they give you special treatment. People smile at you more, admire you, praise you, and little by little, without you realizing it, you start to live in a bubble. You no longer see things as you used to. You think that everyone loves you, that everything is fine, that the life is comfortable. You lose the ability to see the world with humble eyes, and that's dangerous. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of Rome, made a conscious effort not to lose touch with reality. In his meditations, he constantly reminded himself that although he had power and wealth, he was still a simple human being, like everyone else. He knew that if he allowed glory to blind him, he would lose his essence, and that's exactly what Stoicism teaches us. Success shouldn't isolate you from reality, because when it does, it weakens you. How to prevent success from disconnecting you from reality? 1. Don't live alone in your bubble. If everyone around you is people who fawn over you, who put you on a pedestal, who tell you only what you want to hear, it's time to get out of there. Stay connected with ordinary people with whom they live the reality of everyday life. Talk to people outside of your circle of success. Listen to those who have real struggles. Stay close to those who knew you before you achieved everything. The best way not to lose perspective is to surround yourself with people who are not afraid to tell you the truth. 2. Do everyday things for yourself. It's easy to get used to others doing everything for you. However, if you can continue to perform little tasks by yourself, drive your own vehicle, clean your bed, sometimes cook, visit the grocery, little deeds help you stay anchored. 3. If you begin to identify yourself only by your achievement, keep in mind that success is merely a situation, not a personality. You reject yourself to lead a life apart from the actual. Recall that you still live a life still in the midst of the day at the conclusion of it. He wears a protection against fear, insecurity, criticism. They believe that success is a shield that makes them invulnerable. They believe that because they have reached a certain level, no one will be able to affect them anymore. But it is a trap. The problem with using success as armor is that it disconnects you from your true self. You become someone who needs to appear strong, who has to prove all the time that he is successful, that he cannot afford mistakes or vulnerabilities, because you have to maintain the image, and when that happens you are no longer free. Epictetus taught us that nothing external should define us, neither success nor wealth nor fame, because if we have that to feel valuable, then we will never really own ourselves. So here goes the Stoic lesson. Use success as a tool to do good, not as a shield to hide behind it. How to make sure that success does not become armor? First, do not use your success to avoid facing your fears. Many people use success as a way to hide. They believe that because they have achieved something, they no longer have to face their insecurities, their doubts, their own inner demons. But success is not an excuse to stop growing. If you have fears, work on it. If there are things in you that you need to improve, do it. Don't use success as a distraction. To be honest with yourself, you hold on to your success because you believe that without it you are worthless. You are afraid of losing it because you feel that without it people will see you differently. If the answer is yes, then success has already become an armor for you. The trick is to remember that you are worth the same with or without success. Third party, do not make the success your identity. If you define yourself only by what you have achieved, you will be limiting yourself. You are much more than your logos. If tomorrow you lose everything, you are still the same person with the same capabilities, the same mind, the same essence. Don't let success be the only thing that defines you. Fourth, use success to contribute, not to impress. The best way to make sure that success does not become a burden is to use it correctly. You have perfect success. Now use it to help others, to share knowledge, to inspire, not to show how great you are, but to do something meaningful with it. 5. Allow yourself to be human. You don't need to act like you're perfect. You don't need to prove that you have it. Everything under control. Keep learning, keep growing. Don't put a barrier between you and reality. Just because you're successful, the success is a great opportunity, but also a great test. If you use it well, it can multiply the best of you. But if you hide behind it, it can make you a prisoner of your own image. The key is to remember that success is only a tool, not a shield, and tools are made to be used, not to live within them. No one can call themselves free if they don't govern themselves. Here's the big problem of success can make you soft if you allow it. When you're struggling to achieve something, you push yourself up, you get up early, you work hard, you make sacrifices, but when you achieve success, a silent temptation appears, the desire to relax and beware. Relaxing doesn't mean just taking a break, it means losing discipline. Quitting becoming comfortable is like an athlete who, after winning a gold medal, stops training because he believes he no longer needs to improve. Stoicism tells us that self-discipline is not something you apply only when you need it, but a principle of life. If you let your guard down, you weaken. If you become dependent on comfort, you lose your edge. And if success makes you forget what got you there, then you have already begun to fall without realizing it. Why it is dangerous to lose self-discipline after success? Because success is not permanent. Many believe that when they reach a certain level, they no longer need to try harder, but the reality is different. Success is never guaranteed. If you stop being disciplined, if you stop improving, if you stop growing, others will do it in your place. The top is not a stable place, a point of balance that must be maintained, because comfort can be a trap. Look at the great empires of history. They did not fall because they were defeated by a stronger enemy. They fell because they became weak from within. They became accustomed to luxury, pleasure, comfort, and when the crisis came, they were no longer ready to fight. Don't let success make you soft, because self-discipline is the basis of true freedom. Said that a man is not free if he does not control himself. If success makes you dependent on instant gratification, on the approval of others, on luxury, then you are not the master of your life, but a slave to circumstances. Self-discipline keeps you strong no matter what happens around you. If you already master something, look for the next growth. Does not stop. Discipline is not only a means to achieve success, but a lifestyle. 5. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics had an interesting practice. From time to time they lived as if they were poor. They slept on the floor. They ate simple food, avoided luxuries. Why? To remember that they could live without them, so as not to become dependent on comfort. You have perfect success now. Don't play weak, so don't get too used to the easy. From time to time, challenge yourself. Get up earlier than necessary. Face a physical or mental challenge. Work on something that is not urgent, but that makes you grow. Conclusion: success is not an excuse to let your guard down. Many believe that discipline is only for when you are in the fight, but the Stoics teach us the opposite. Self-discipline is what keeps you strong even when success has already arrived. If you allow yourself to weaken, success will not last. But if you continue with the same growth mindset, then no matter what happens, you will keep moving forward, because true success is not getting to the top, it is staying at it without losing the edge. 10. Do not believe that success makes you invincible. Men the most powerful have fallen not by the force of their enemies, but by their own arrogance. Here comes a lethal trap of success. It makes you believe that nothing and no one can bring you down. When you achieve what many want, when you are at the top and you feel that everything is under control, it is easy to fall into the illusion that you are untouchable. You believe that you can no longer fail, that you can no longer lose, that you are about to above any danger. But the reality is different. Success doesn't make you immortal. It doesn't make you invulnerable. It doesn't give you immunity from mistakes, falls, or failures. In fact, the higher you climb, the bigger the fall. If you're not careful, look at the story. How many empires, leaders, businessmen, celebrities have fallen from the top because they thought they could never be defeated. Pride is the seal killer of the successful. Mint said it clearly. Fortune does not protect anyone forever. True security is not in success, but in prudence. Why? Success can make you feel invincible because you get used to winning. When you have been succeeding for a long time, you stop seeing failure as a real possibility. You feel that everything you touch turns to gold, and that's when you start to lower your guard, because others make you feeling superior. When you are successful, people look at you differently. They admire you, praise you, treat you with more respect, and if you are not careful, you start to believe that image. You start to think that you are really more special than others because you stop questioning yourself. When you are successful, you feel that you already have all the answers, that you don't need to learn other than not to question your decisions, that you can't be wrong, and when that happens, you start To make decisions from arrogance instead of wisdom. How to avoid the illusion of invincibility. First, remember that everything can change in an instant. No success is eternal. Life changes, circumstances change, luck changes. If you think you will always be on top, you will be surprised. When things change, ask yourself this question: if tomorrow everything I have disappears, I will still be strong. I am prepared to adapt if things change. The Stoic doesn't hold on to anything because he knows that everything is temporary. If you're ready to lose it all and move on, then success can never control you. To stay humble even when you have reasons not to be. Humility doesn't mean that you minimize your achievements, but that you recognize that you are still a human being with mistakes, with limits, with things to learn if you want to maintain success without it destroying you. More than anybody else, believe in yourself. Pay attention to those who see things differently. Grow from others. True brilliance is in always learning regardless of your level of achievement, even if you believe you already know everything. It is not in boasting what you have done. Get around folks who speak the truth. You will lose awareness of your own flaws if you just hang out with people who tell you how wonderful you are. People are needed to challenge you, warn you, tell you what you do not want to hear. Making mistakes calls on you to avoid allowing pride to trap you. Have someone in your life who will pull you down to earth and probe you difficultly. If success might make you feel as if the world revolves around you, the truth is that nobody is really essential. Stoicism helps us to realize that we are merely a component of the world, not its axis. Should we vanish today, life will continue. The planet will keep flourishing. It only indicates that you are in a different position. It does not suggest you are more valuable than others. Do things that remind you that you are human. Spend time with people who don't admire you for your success, but for who you are. Listen more than you talk, observe nature, and realize how small you are in the grand scheme of life. If you don't allow success to make you feel invincible, you will always be prepared for whatever comes. Conclusion: success is not a shield against reality. How much the higher you climb, the more attentive you must be. True success is not only reaching the top, but staying there without losing your mind. If you remember that success does not make you immortal, if you keep learning, if you continue to be humble, if you do not believe yourself above life itself, then you will be on the right path, because real success is not in believing yourself invincible, but in being wise enough to know that you will be 11. Don't lose purpose to pursue more success. It's not because things are difficult that we don't dare, but because we don't dare that they become difficult. Seneca here is something that almost no one tells you about success. It can become an addiction. When you reach an achievement, you feel enormous satisfaction. It's like a hit of dopamine at the beginning. Success was a goal, something that inspired you, something that it had a meaning for you. But what happens when you get it? You want more, and this is where many get lost because they start chasing success for success's sake. They no longer work for purpose, for passion, for meaning. They only work for the feeling of continuing to win. Stoicism teaches us that success is not the end, but a means. If you lose sight of the reason why you started, you become a machine that just wants more without really knowing what for. Why success can make you lose purpose, because success is addictive. Winning feels good, to be recognized feels good, and when you get used to that feeling, I start chasing it instead of chasing what really matters, because the ego starts to dictate your decisions. When you achieve success, people tell you how amazing you are, and if you are not careful, you start to believe that your only value is to keep achieving more and more. Instead of doing what you really love, you start doing what gives you more recognition, because the fear of losing what you have dominates you. When you are not yet successful, you work with passion, with hunger, but when you already have something to lose, fear appears. And if I stop being relevant? And should my next endeavor not be as significant? Money or recognition offers you prefers to be true to yourself rather than lose yourself for external approval. Fourth, maintain passion for what you do, not for what you get out of it. Success should not be the reason you work. True success is to love what you do regardless of the results. If what you do no longer excites you, if you feel that you only follow because it is already part of your identity, so something is not right. Success without purpose, it's a burden, not a blessing. Conclusion: don't become a slave to success. Success should be an ally, not a master. If it controls you, if it dictates all your decisions, if it makes you forget who you are, then it's no longer an achievement, but a Seneca prison. He said that true greatness is in clarity, in knowing why you do what you do. No allows success to turn you into someone who only seeks more without really knowing why. You return to your purpose, find meaning in what you do, and if you ever realize that you have strayed from the path, have the courage to correct it. 12. Do not neglect your well-being to pursue success. Nothing, even success, is worth it if in the end it destroys your peace. Epictetus. Here is one of the greatest ironies in life. Many people sacrifice their mental, physical, and emotional health in the name of success. They work tirelessly, sleep little, neglect their relationships, live in a state of constant stress, and all because they believe that success justifies everything. But here is the key question of what is success if when you achieve it you cannot enjoy it, if at the end of the road you are exhausted, sick, disconnected from people. What you love is really worth it. Epictetus taught us that balance is that glory, because true success is not only having external achievements but having internal peace. Why many people neglect their well-being for success? Because society sells us the idea that you have to sacrifice without limits. We have been told that if we want to be successful we have to work tirelessly, that there is no room for leisure, that we will sleep when we are dead. But what about this? Many reach success and the first thing they do is search how to recover everything they lost along the way, because the fear of failure makes them ignore their own needs. Some people work obsessively because they are afraid that if they slow down they will lose what they have achieved, and then they enter a cycle of extreme work, stress, exhaustion, and then collapse because they confuse the gray with weakness. Stoicism teaches us the importance of effort, yes, but it also teaches us that an exhausted body and mind cannot function well if you destroy yourself in the process of achieving success. Success itself ceases to have meaning. How to make sure that success does not cost you health and peace? First, learn to set limits. The world will always ask you for more work, more effort, more dedication, but you decide how far. If you don't set limits, success will consume you. Learn to say stop. When you feel like you're sacrificing too much, ask yourself these questions. I'm neglecting my health to work too much. I'm moving away from the people I love. I'm losing control of my life because of the pressure of success. If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then it's time to make adjustments. 2. Don't neglect your body. Your body is the tool with which you live this life. If you treat it badly, sooner or later it will break. Sleep well. There is no glory in working until exhaustion. Eat well. Don't become dependent on caffeine and fast food. Move. Don't let a sedentary lifestyle turn you into someone fragile. Marcus Aurelius, being emperor, trained his body every day because he knew that a strong mind needs a strong body. 3. Cultivate calm in your life. Success shouldn't mean living with constant anxiety. If success is taking away your peace, then it's not success, it's slavery. The Stoics practiced meditation and silence. They reflected every day. They took time to be calm. Do the same. Take a few minutes a day to disconnect. Learn to enjoy the present moment instead of just worrying about the future. Don't let the rush of the world makes you forget that life is not just work and achievements. 4th, keep close to the people who really matter. What is the point of success if you finish only work and ambition are important, but cannot replace real relationships? Do not lose human connections by chasing numbers and recognition. If one day you look around and realize that you have achieved a lot but you have no one to share it with, it means something went wrong along the way. Conclusion: success without well-being is a trap. Epictetus taught us that there is no true success if in the end you are destroyed by wealth, fame, achievements. All that is useless if in the process you lost your peace, your health, and your happiness. So ask yourself, I am building a success that makes me happy, or one that is consuming me? I am living or alone surviving? I am taking care of myself as much as I take care of my goals, because true success is not only to go far but to arrive with well-being, with peace, and with the ability to route what you have achieved. 13. Don't let success make you forget the importance of gratitude. Nothing is enough for those who enough is little. Here comes another silent problem of success. It can make you forget what you have achieved. Lucky that you are. When you are in the struggle, you appreciate every little victoria. You remember the effort, the sacrifices, the times you doubted yourself. But when you reach the level of success, it is easy to start taking everything for granted, and when that happens, gratitude disappears. And when gratitude disappears, success stops feeling like a blessing and becomes a constant demand. What you once saw as a dream, now it seems normal. What was once an incredible achievement is now the minimum, and suddenly instead of feeling happy for what you have followed, you feel empty because you always want more. Epictetus warned us about this. When you are never satisfied, success does not fulfill you, enslaves you. Why? Success can make you forget gratitude, because the mind gets used quickly to the good. What today is an incredible achievement, in a few months it will feel like the minimum acceptable, and then you will just want more, and if not gratitude, you will never feel that what you have is enough, because success brings new worries. When you start, you just want to achieve your first goals, but when you achieve them, new pressures appear to maintain what you have to beat your own records, not lose what you achieved. And if you are not careful, you focus so much on what is missing that you forget everything what you already have, because the ego makes you believe that M is everything. When you achieve a lot, you start to think that everything you have is just the result of your effort. And of course your effort was key, but there were also opportunities, people who supported you, moments when luck was on your side. If you believe that everything you have is only for you, you stop feeling gratitude and you start to feel that everything is owed to you, and that is the beginning of arrogance and dissatisfaction. How to make sure that success does not steal your gratitude? First, remember who you were before you got here. Think about your version of 5 years ago that person dreamed of. What you have now, that person would have given everything to be in the position you are in today. Do not let habit make you forget that at some point what you have today was just a distant wish. Do this exercise. Close your eyes and think about how you would feel if you traveled to the past and told your past self everything you have achieved. You think that version of you would feel proud, or you think you would be disappointed because instead of celebrating now, you only complain about what you don't have yet to practice the gratitude of in a conscious way. The Stoics had an exercise called premeditatio malorum, where they imagined losing everything they had, not as a way of suffering, but as a way of remembering that nothing is guaranteed and that we must value what we have today. Do it too. Picture yourself going back to zero. What would you most miss? Imagine for one day you had no success, money, or accolades. Who would you most value? Now let your eyes open and treat yourself. Before you consider what's next, stop for a moment and be thankful for what already is. Gratitude not only makes you happier, but also keeps you humble with your feet on the ground, reminding you that success is not only what you have, but also what you are.